Recordings back up. True. That's okay, Suzu. I'm not sure I want a boyfriend yet.
Why not? It's our senior year.
Oh, I'm far ahead.
Oh, come on. Stop going so far.
Sorry.
Maybe she's just not interested in a relationship, Suzu.
Alright, I'll just start reading and don't get me wrong.
Well, it really wasn't about wanting a relationship, but more of there was no one interesting enough to be in a relationship with.
Don't get me wrong, I'm an open person, but there were not many interesting guys in the school to go out with. Who knows? Time will tell. Naomi looked at me, wanting to continue the conversation. However, before she could speak, the speakers in the cafe started up and an announcement echoed through the cafeteria.
Miss Anderson, please come to the main office immediately. Please bring your things with you.
Oh my.
Oh my. Looks like our plans have been cut short. The men in white coats have finally come to get you.
Okay.
Suzu, don't joke around.
The men in white coat? The men in white coats?
No
KKK
idea.
much?
Well, they said coats, not robes or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to...
Sorry, the voice acting overrided your voice again. What was
as
that?
usual.
Yes, as usual.
Funny enough, something did happen, and it was certainly no laughing matter. Cold. It was really cold. The rain became heavier that afternoon, accompanied by rolling thunder now and then. The skies had turned dark, so I couldn't see any of it under the black umbrella. Not that I was looking up. In fact, looking up was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. I stared at the grass beneath my feet, unable to look up at the people weeping around me. All I could see was the damp grass underneath my feet. Only the monotone eulogies that floated through my ears reminded me that I was at a funeral. It was only when the speeches ended that I finally was able to raise my head.
A small gathering of people, mostly made of relatives that I didn't even know were related to me, were huddled around a simple small grave. For a while, all I heard was the sound of raindrops and umbrellas. On umbrellas, sorry. If it weren't raining, everything would probably be in a heavy silence. I looked beside me where my father was standing and holding up a large black umbrella for a small family of 3. His face was emotionless, a strange sight next to my weeping mother. I wondered what was going through his mind. After all, etched into the smooth grey tombstone before us was his father's name. My grandfather, the one who raised me like his own daughter, had passed away that day. The ceremony was small, only close family were allowed to come. Slowly, though, people began to leave, leaving my father, mother, and me behind at the grave. A man dressed in a clean black suit under the uniform black umbrella of the funeral attendees walked towards us, introducing himself as grandfather's lawyer. He pulled out a few documents from his suitcase and began to read aloud.
And now, I shall read.
Only my parents and I were allowed to. Yeah.
Right now.
Oh shit! I suddenly skipped it. Sorry.
God, I read it. Only my parents and I were allowed to be present for my grandfather's will. It was under the strict request of his lawyer, and there was a reason why.
And to my dearest granddaughter, I give my estate. All the furniture and decor that resides within the house shall also be given to my granddaughter.
Next.
What? I couldn't believe my ears. I had earned the family estate at 18. That was impossible, and yet it was written by my own grandfather's hand.
He passed the family estate to her? Why am I not surprised?
Dear.
Well, did he say anything about what will become of the CEO and chairman position of the Anderson Toys Company?
No. It is presumed that the vice chairman will succeed the position.
Even to the bitter end, he wouldn't give in. What a stubborn old man.
Shaking his head, my father turned to face my mother with a serious expression on his face.
About the estate. Should we send her there to get used to the building? It'll be a good place for her to live after high school.
Are you sure we should?
Why not? This would be a good experience for her.
Honey, what do you think?
Dot.
I really wasn't sure what to say. Why did my grandfather think that I was the appropriate hire to the mansion? Was I even ready to live on my own?
Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust.
David!
Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car, disinterested.
I like how he just... it said that he walked. I mean, he began walking, but he just zoomed out of the window.
Yep.
Don't
I'm
wake
out.
him, honey.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Why don't we
Cartman,
get back
please.
home for now?
You can go on ahead to the car, Mom. I think I need some time alone with Grandpa.
Oh, of course. Take all the time you need.
She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral grounds, which was completely empty, save for the sullen-looking grave that was laid in front of me. I'm sure that if Grandpa were in charge of arranging all of this, it would have been much different. It was blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family the same day they pass away? Everyone knew my grandfather's love for toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab on the ground, void of any children's toys. My dad didn't even bother putting flowers. His
That
disdain
bastard.
for my... Huh?
That bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of... That
Also-
dad is kind of a derp.
Also,
dick.
it's a bit weird that the tombstone is not standing up.
Well, some people prefer doing that, since you're kind of looking down at the tombstone when you're reading it.
I guess that's true. Nice.
His disdain for my grandfather was almost pitiful. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choked sob. You told me to stay strong, but right now I'm the farthest from it. Like that one time a long time ago.
Okay.
Flashback time! Phoenix. Grandpa!
Stop for a moment.
Huh?
There was a part where she choked on her hair crying, and it was raining. It reminded me of a song that Jessica Cox has made.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to show you give you the link to the song later.
Alright. Well, I'll be sure to watch that.
Nice. Grandpa!
Oh, it's so
It is so good to see you again, sweetie.
He
Yes.
totally doesn't look like a pedophile.
I know, right? I
He
was
just need
swept. What?
the mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Like a big pedo mustache. I was swept into a giant bear hug and we both laughed and he swung me around like an airplane. It was one of my favorite things about seeing my grandfather, the way he greeted me. Unlike my father, my grandfather was loving and playful even as I grew older. Sorry that Daddy couldn't be here today. He said that he wasn't feeling too good again. It had always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, citing that he was busy with work or wasn't feeling well.
Is that so? Well, that's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right?
Yeah. So, what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mommy says that there's a new dessert cafe opened in